Ever played a game that makes you feel like a linguistic detective?
Like a game of codes.
Exactly. We're diving into the world of Quibberish.
Quibberish, okay.
It's a game where everyday expressions get a serious case of the word jumbles.
Word jumbles. You're right. That's a good way to put it.
And it's up to us to crack the code. You asked for a deep dive on this.
Our listeners are quite curious about this Quibberish, it seems.
They are. And I have to admit, I was a little skeptical at first. Just a word game, I thought.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, it sounds a little simple at first.
But trust me, we've got expert speaker here with us.
Happy to be here.
And they've promised some seriously mind-bending insights into how this seemingly simple game actually flexes some surprising mental muscles.
It really is more than just a game. You can think of it as a playful workout for your brain.
Okay, so tell us more about this workout. What exactly is Quibberish?
It all started with a tennis match. Venus Williams, I think it was making a comeback.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the game is getting intense. Bill Bishop, the creator of Quibberish, he turns to his wife and says, "The narrative coagulates."
The narrative coagulates. Okay, I'm already lost.
Exactly. He could have said, "The plot thickens." But instead, he used this incredibly roundabout phrase.
Right. Very wordy.
Almost absurd. And that sparked an idea. What if there was a game where you had to decipher the meaning behind these hilariously convoluted paraphrases?
So instead of saying, spill the beans, you'd say,
Yeah.
what, decant the legumes?
You're catching on quickly. Quibberish takes familiar phrases and twists them into these elaborate, almost unrecognizable forms. And that's where the fun and the brain boosting begins.
All right, give me an example. How does a round of Quibberish actually work?
So imagine you're handed a card. Okay.
Okay.
And this card, it has 3 phrases written on it.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And let's say these phrases are something like, sob while in transit to the Treasury, get sadly emotional while gambling downtown, and shed tears all the way to the ATM machine.
Okay, those are oddly specific, but I think I see where you're going with this. They all have a similar vibe, like variations on a theme.
Exactly. That theme, my friend, is the common expression they're all trying to paraphrase. So your job is to kind of crack the code and figure out what that hidden phrase is.
So it's like a word puzzle, but instead of letters, you're searching for meaning.
That's a good way to put it.
Hidden within these elaborate paraphrases.
Precisely. And the game itself is filled with these little gems. In fact, you've got some examples from the game right there, don't you?
I do. Okay, let's see. This one says, the nautical concern has a new direction. What you think?
Ooh, that's a classic one. It's a playful way of saying the tide has turned.
I see it now. The imagery of the tide and the direction, it all clicks. Okay, give me another one. How about asbestos, a tire needed for excursion from torrid terrain. Now we're talking. That's some next-level Quibberish.
That one's a doozy. It's just a more flamboyant way of saying out of the frying pan into the fire.
Wow, that's incredible. I never would have guessed that one. It's amazing how these seemingly unrelated words can come together to create a totally different meaning. It's like my brain had to do a backflip to get there.
And that's precisely what makes Quibberish such an effective brain workout. It forces you to engage in something called divergent thinking.
Divergent thinking. Tell me more.
It's really about breaking free from linear conventional thought patterns. You have to explore multiple possibilities.
So instead of just going from A to B, my brain is going on a wild goose chase.
Essentially, you're forced to consider different meanings of words, explore unusual combinations, activate those dormant parts of your vocabulary.
It's like giving your brain a linguistic workout. I can already feel the synapses firing.
And here's the thing. This kind of cognitive flexibility, this ability to think outside the box, it's not just useful for a word game.
You're saying there are real-world benefits to this? Absolutely. Give me the real-world application of Quibberish. How does this help me outside of a game night?
Well, think about it. How often do you need to think on your feet? Or come up with some creative solution?
Oh, every day.
Exactly. That's where that cognitive flexibility really comes in handy. Quibberish trains your brain to be more adaptable, more adept at finding new pathways to a solution.
So it's like if my brain were a roadmap, Quibberish is helping me draw new routes, like discover these back roads and shortcuts.
Precisely. And this has implications for everything. Problem solving, communication. Imagine trying to explain a complex idea to someone.
Yeah.
Quibberish encourages you to find multiple ways to express that same concept. It makes you more likely to kind of resonate with your audience.
Right. It's like adding new tools to your communication toolbox.
Exactly. And don't forget the creative benefits. Playing with language like this can can spark new ideas, helps you see those connections you might have missed.
So it's not just about understanding the words themselves, right? It's about how those words can be rearranged and repurposed.
Yeah, to create something new. It's about pushing those boundaries of language and, in turn, expanding your own thinking.
Wow. So we've gone from a simple word game to unlocking hidden cognitive powers. Never underestimate a good word puzzle, I guess. Expert speaker, this has been an incredibly eye-opening journey into the world of Quibberish, and I think I'm ready to trade in my crossword puzzles for a deck of Quibberish cards. You've only scratched the surface here. I'm eager to see what other linguistic gems are hidden in those clever paraphrases.
It's quite a fascinating game.
It is. Well, that's the beauty of a deep dive, isn't it? There's always something new to learn. A huge thank you to you, expert speaker, for guiding us through this linguistic labyrinth. And to all of you listening, we challenge you. Give Quibberish a try. You might be surprised at how this seemingly simple game can ignite your imagination.